Welcome to the It's All Fine and Dangy podcast, where hosts Dan and Angie talk with creatives, small business owners, charities, and all kinds of interesting people. It's all real talk. It's all fine and dangy.
Like a news reporter. You're like a news reporter.
Man on the street.
Live from my crib.
That's right.
It's Saturday night. Ooh, it is.
It is
Saturday
wild.
night. So we got down here, but on the way down here, you know, after about an hour and a half on the road, you start getting a little loopy. And so Dan started asking questions like, do you think cauliflower comes from California?
Because it sounds like a California flower.
It does.
Flower, huh?
Yes.
Here's
Very
another one.
intuitive question.
Here's another intuitive question. How come a relish tray never has relish on it?
I don't know, Dan.
Why would you ever, what? And how did we get on that? We got in that conversation because we were passing an exit where you used to go, you went to some
The
restaurant.
Branch Ranch. You probably hadn't heard of that, but it's
No.
a restaurant that's been around forever.
Yeah, but they closed in like 2006 because
Yep.
I had to, of course, look it up
Yep.
when we're, you know, after he comes up.
Car
He's like,
debates.
the
Very
coolest thing
serious.
was like Southern food, but they put a relish tray on the table for you to snack on before dinner. But, you know, there was never any relish on the tray.
Whatever.
So what's the point?
How's it a relish tray? That's my question. I
I
can't
know.
believe you thought to document these questions.
I
That's
know,
pretty
because
great.
it's funny because it was like the things you're coming up with on the way here. And then my thing that I pointed out was Dunkin' Donuts. So, you know, Dunkin' Donuts has now shortened their name, right?
No, I did not know
So
that.
it used to be Dunkin' Donuts. And some of the stores you see it says Dunkin'. Some says DNKN.
Okay.
Today, on the way here, we saw one that just said plain old DD on the side. I'm like, what's going on here? What?
Now it sounds dirty.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Double D.
I'm like, I'm expecting
going?
something way different when I
I'm
come in
going
this
to
store,
Double D's to
buddy.
get some coffee.
Yeah, what?
What? They serve
boy.
coffee at Double D? Yeah, they sure do.
So you guys may hear in the background we have a couple puppies
Oh, yeah,
that
so
are
sorry.
enjoying their squeaky toys.
Well, we have one puppy and we have
true.
one old man.
Yes.
right on
yes.
command.
Yeah, and so Yoda and Dozer is, so if you hear them in the background, guys,
They have
you
a
know.
very hard time being away from their mom. This whole 2 feet is just a little bit too much. They're very stressed out.
Oh my gosh. So I love Jolynn's setup that she has here. So we're going to get into her whole photography business that she's just
Yes.
started. But she has this whole little cute area set up celebrating fall and all the pumpkins and the fall stuff that's coming out. I mean, it is Florida. So, hey guys, we see you right there. So I just wanted to let everybody know that today's show is actually sponsored by Fox Valley Hopyard and Farms in Apopka.
Yes.
And the reason I'm saying that is because that's what your pumpkins reminded me of. So they're actually, for the very first year, going to do a pumpkin patch there.
I know, it's so cool.
I know, so cool. So I just wanted to give the dates for that because all through October, this is like, I think of you too because you're a photographer.
Yeah.
And photographers love pumpkin
That's amazing,
patches in
yeah.
fall, right? And I know it's a little bit of a drive, but you come out to see us sometime. So in October, if you come out, you were just talking about going to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Bring your camera.
That would be awesome.
Go to the
Yes.
Hopyard, snap
Yes.
some photos of some cute little children's or puppies or whatever, right? But they're going to be open on October on Wednesday through Friday from 4 to 8, and I got to look at it. Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 2. So that is the perfect time if you're in the community in Apopka, or, you know, we used to travel to a pumpkin patch really far away.
So
And
this
now
is
we
right in town.
have one right down the road. So.
And it's out in the country. So it's nothing against the other pumpkin patches, but some of them are right in the corner on the street. This is
Yeah.
out in the country. You get the full feel
You
of
get
the
the feel,
whole.
yeah, the feel of
And
it.
here's some really cool things they have on the property. They have a chicken farm on the property, and they have turkeys wandering around. They have an orchard, a vineyard, a hop yard.
Classic truck.
I have an old red classic truck.
Yep.
So, you know,
Okay.
those are gorgeous
Yep.
for picture taking. Then they'll have the pumpkins. They have a little market on the property. It's just an amazing little farm. So next
Yes.
time you're out,
Yeah,
we're
that
snapping
sounds
some photos
wonderful.
there.
I'd like to do minis there, photo shoot minis there.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
And I think Jen and Mike are very open to photographers coming there to utilize the area. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have to schedule it or whatever, but
Yeah.
how cool, right?
Yeah.
And before
that's
I
awesome.
forget, we have the Binds and Brew competition coming up. It's a homebrew competition, that's coming up at the Fox Valley Farm and Hopyard on November 6th it is on November 6th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yep.
And Angie and I will be there with our tent. We'll be set
That's
up
right.
as the announcers, sort of the MCs of the whole event.
Yeah, the official media,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we'll be live streaming from there. We'll be announcing the winners of the contest.
Yeah.
We'll be drinking some beers. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's
the
going
most
to be
important part.
It's going to be a fun day. Entertainment out there, food trucks, like they're going to have it all. So we're excited for Fox Valley Hopyard and Farm to be our sponsors today. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you guys. We'll drop a link in the show notes on, information from their website, how to get there, the competition coming up, and a link to their phone number, address, all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into it.
A couple of things real quick, though.
Oh,
I also
forgetting.
wanted to mention a good friend of ours has a company called No Moore BBQ Rub. I also want to put a link in the show notes for that.
Yeah.
This
It's really
stuff
good
is
barbecue
amazing.
rub.
I'm not just saying this because it's a friend of ours, but we are going to have Jason, who's founded it, on the show coming up at some point
Yeah,
here.
we're not just saying it because he's a friend of yours or, that you've helped him with his website and stuff. We're saying it because we actually have Look No More BBQ Rub in our pantry.
We're like on our third or fourth one. We
Yeah.
keep ordering it. So
It's
full
really
disclosure,
good.
I bought
That's a good
it
sign.
to be supportive, and now we're like, oh my God, this stuff's amazing.
I
So
know.
now we're using it up. So
Yeah.
very good stuff.
That's right.
I'm always looking for new spices.
Yeah, this one
Yes.
is a really good barbecue rub. So anything else before we
Yeah,
get the
one
show
more thing I
rolling?
did want to mention.
Okay.
Sorry for so much. We normally don't do it this way.
It's because we forget at the end of the
Yeah,
show
yeah,
because
so
we're get so wrapped up and then we just forget.
So let's get this part over with. But one more thing. This is a very important thing. So a good friend of mine's, I'm going to say other half, Rick Robertson, had a medical issue where he wasn't feeling good one afternoon. We talked about this on a show
Yeah,
a
we
couple
did.
episodes ago. Like grilled on the grill, sat on the couch, fell asleep. She couldn't wake him up. She called the ER or 911. They came. He wouldn't wake up. In the ambulance, he, what's the word? He
aspirated into his lungs.
Long story short, he's been in a coma. He's had brain damage as a result of it. And up until recently, they didn't really even know if they were going to have to make some really hard decisions. Well, he is doing moderately better. He's in a recovery center, but they are completely out of money, and it's really going to make the difference on whether or not he recovers or not. So we don't do this very often, but if there's anything to donate your money to, this would be definitely something where they could really help. So we're going to put a link to their GoFundMe in the show notes as well.
Yeah. And with GoFundMes, I always say, some people think, if they can't donate $25 or $50 or, that they don't think it's going to help, $1 helps.
Totally
You know what I
does.
mean?
Adds
So, this family is out of money because they've exhausted all their resources to get him to the point where he is, but he has further to go. So this is one of those opportunities to help those in your community.
I mean,
so definitely.
this guy's self-employed. He doesn't have insurance, so now he's got to do whatever he can. I know they were real apprehensive to ask for help, but I'm glad they are.
As is most people,
Yeah.
whenever they need help, but they really do need help. So reach out if you can, and definitely whatever you can, every dollar helps, guys. And we appreciate everything that you do for those in the community.
Absolutely.
And so let's get into it, Miss Jolynn. So you recently started, you finally took the plunge, and you started your own photography business.
Yes.
So tell us, what helped you make that decision? Kind of why'd you get it start rolling?
Yeah. I feel like just over the years, I was always the one with the camera. Like I was always in everyone's faces, even when they didn't want their picture taken.
Yeah.
I'm like the queen. I'm like, no, smile. Like, do it right now.
Right.
And so when I was younger, I always asked for a camera for Christmas or for my birthday. I always wanted something new. When I got a laptop, it had a little webcam on it, and I thought that was the real deal.
Just creativity all the way, right?
Yes, I love it. And I'm not shy about being in front of the camera myself, so I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm very bossy, so I don't mind telling someone they might not look good at that certain angle.
Yeah.
So I found that I'm usually, 9 out of 10 times I get the best photos out of the group. And so I'm like, I could really make something of this. So rewind to a few years ago, I was still living in Michigan. And I thought then, let me try this out. Let's see what happens. And I feel like I always had that negative voice inside my head, can I really do this?
Is this a real profession?
You know what, though?
Exactly.
Everybody does. They call it imposter syndrome. We talked about this one time, too, but everybody does that. It's funny when you hear, wildly successful actors are still do I know what I'm doing here? So it's not different than anyone, to have that sort of voice in your head.
Yep. Yeah, it's normal to feel that way. And at the time, I've worked in the industry, the service industry, bartending. That's my thing. I'm very good at it. I'm comfortable at it. I can hassle money out of anyone. So it's very, beneficial for me. So I found myself, stuck. I'm okay, well, I make a lot of money being a bartender, and it's easy and it's fast cash. And I had that voice inside my head, okay, well, if you quit your bartending job and you don't make any money doing photography, what are you going to do?
Yep.
And so I was
that self-doubt coming in.
Exactly. And it was terrible. And, then I just had a lot of personal things in my life, and I was doing pretty good for a while. I had lots of photo shoots set up, and just being born and raised in Michigan, I had the clientele. I had all, people, just word of mouth. People I knew, everyone was take these photos for me, whatever. So I was doing that. And then I feel like I just fell off the bandwagon in terms of my own life and my own personal aspects. And so that's kind of when I moved to Florida, and it took a little bit to get on my feet. But now that I'm finally, just got moved into a new place, I'm mentally stable finally. Amen.
Are we really ever mentally stable?
No, but I'm getting better.
But I know what you mean, because it allows you to focus on your creative. It's almost like an oxymoron, because the creative side, I'm at creative in ways too, but it feels like something that shouldn't be organized just by definition. But when you can organize your creativity, like this awesome setup you have here, you can start seeing things fall in place. You know what I mean? So now seems like a perfect time to get your business sort of re-energized, right? Yeah.
It's the best time, honestly. It is. I have a lot of space now. I'm in a perfect location. Sarasota is vacation capital. Everybody comes here. A lot of my Michigan friends come here for vacation too, which is really cool, because that's a perfect way to connect.
Yeah.
So, since you're in Sarasota and you're right by the beach, that's the perfect backdrop for a photographer.
Yep.
So is that some of the shoots that you do? Is it, beach related? Talk me through what type of shoots that you've kind of started doing down here in Florida.
Yeah, so I've always been an outdoors kind of girl. I especially moved here for the beach. So to do sunset photo shoots is my absolute favorite. Just being outside. I know a lot of beautiful locations around here. Celery Fields is one of my favorite. And being a local, it's I feel I know more of my favorite places. So when somebody comes here from out of town and they give me an idea of what kind of photo shoot they want, I'm I have the perfect location,
Yeah.
So I found that just connecting with people and getting a feel for what kind of shoot they want, that's the process of it. It's just, okay, well, you're a sunset girl too. I'm a sunset girl. Let's go to Siesta Key. That's the #1 beach. Do a sunset shoot. I'm all about natural light, and I really like more, lifestyle photos. I'm not really a poser. Nobody would ever feel uncomfortable in front of my lens, because I don't just say, okay, stand just like that and smile. It's I want action. I want you guys, Dan, give Angie a twirl, kiss her on the cheek, say something funny. I don't want pose, stand there, feel awkward and fake a smile. I don't ever want that. So I'm just all about how can we get outside, have fun,
move around.
Yep.
You can see that in people's faces sometimes too, where I always call it the little kid smile, where you're just showing your teeth because you've been standing there so long or whatever.
But I think you're in a good position, because I do feel family portraits and such have moved more towards that kind of live action in the moment. Catch it in the moment when it's happening. I mean, with little kids, you might want to kind of direct them towards the birthday cake, but you want to get that in the moment time when they, put their hand in the cake, or, little kid with the waves coming up on them for the first time and then running away and giggling. So I feel like people are really leaning towards that a lot more with their family portraits and stuff.
Do you think that's a result of sort of the iPhone generation now? Because everyone has a camera. Everyone takes so many more pictures than they used to. And I guess I kind of feel everybody doesn't have to agree, but I kind of feel because we're all thinking we can take a good photo, when you get with a photographer, there's value in your skill of knowing how to catch the right moment, let him play
Yes.
for a minute, knowing the right locations, things that make it different than just me walking around with my iPhone thinking I'm taking a good photo.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect example. And that's how it is. And I think especially, every week, I mean, I'm being dramatic, but every week there's a new iPhone out. And every time the camera gets better. And so people are like, well, I'll just take that picture myself. And we were talking about your wedding photos earlier, and it just goes to show if you take them and compare them side by side, at the time you might think it's the same photo, but the quality you get by hiring a photographer, it is worth the money you pay.
I can tell you as someone who, go figure, orders the iPhone every year. It's great. Quality's great, and you can do pretty good, but there's no comparison. There's and I would argue that a real photographer like you can take a very impressive photo with an iPhone. Still doesn't compare to a professional camera.
Yeah,
I think
not at all.
we're a few years away from that.
Well, and there's stuff that goes on in the back end too as a photographer. So there's more than just you snapping the picture.
Oh, amen. Yeah.
You have the editing time at home and choosing just the right picture that's going to speak to those clients once they get it in their hands.
Yes.
Understanding the light and the angles and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Did you go to school or do you get any formal training for photography?
So I actually was going to go to the art institution in Detroit.
Right.
Went down, had a meeting and everything. They were going to give me financial aid that's like equivalent of a penny. So this school was going to be like seriously over $100,000 for me. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, that's a lot of money.
So I ended up meeting, I met up with a local photographer at the time when I lived in Brooklyn, Michigan. And to this day, I still admire her. She's an amazing photographer. And I learned a lot from her, but she was actually transitioning to move to Florida at the time that I reached out.
Oh, wow.
So I got like a couple few, brief sessions with her. But in those sessions, I learned so much.
I could tell.
I did.
Because you were telling me, we were talking a little bit about like focal length and aperture and your ISO and your white balance and all these things. I'm like, I just, how about the automatic feature for me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I
those things
learned
are
it all.
huge
Yeah.
for a
I learned it
photographer.
from her, and she
but
took me out in
shadowing
the
somebody
field, and
is really important.
yes, I saw how she modeled people and how she talks them through it. And you do a lot of the time get those people that they have their own vision of what they want the photo to be. So they try to direct you.
Yeah.
And I love the enthusiasm. I love that they want a good photo. But I'm like, okay, you're also shooting with like the sun coming right into your eyes. Like you're not going to be able to smile for me.
Yeah.
So, I learned a lot about just how to take control of the situation and not seem bossy, but also not be too timid to be like, okay, nope, this shoulder needs to go that way. I want you here. I want you touching them. So I learned to take control of the situation. I learned the settings on my camera. I learned pricing, marketing, like just the 2 weeks I had with her was like amazing. And she introduced me to Creative Live. It's a website where you can pay monthly, like a subscription, and it's classes, all the classes you could imagine.
Oh, that's amazing.
All different ranges. I mean, anything that you could think of when it comes to camera and photography and business, they're all on there. So I found in the morning, I wake up and I drink my coffee and I sit with the dogs and I'll watch a new video every day.
Oh, so it is like going to school every day, basically.
Yeah. I'm basically like self-trained, if you will.
That's cool. I think that is a lot of photographers. It's about the experience. Yep. So we recently I turned you on to another photographer that we had interviewed in our area in Apopka, and she actually does some online classes and stuff like that. So definitely check that out because she's a lighting specialist. So to be able to get that insight, but she said, she started out as a wedding photographer.
Yep.
She said that's the most grueling job. Don't ever start out like that. Like she said, if you really want to learn about photography, that's the area.
I have a wedding next week.
See, but you're very high paced.
I've done 3 weddings before. So
that was part of the reason. She said it's just because it's
experience.
It can be super stressful because it's one moment in time, and that one moment in time, if you don't get it right,
you miss it.
It's major pressure. You can't call them and go, hey, I messed up. Can we redo your wedding?
And I already know you do weddings great because she took Taylor and Austin's pictures.
Oh,
Not
you
just
did those.
Yeah. So somebody else came beforehand and did the posed pictures, but you did the live action pictures. And you caught
the ceremony, the reception.
Yeah.
You caught those moments and, walk around the reception, get pictures that they are never going to think to get with everybody. So those are the things that a photographer thinks about that you're not when you're in the moment. So we have these little guys that keep speaking to us in the background.
Under the door, yeah.
Under the
They're
door.
so vocal.
They want their photo
I'm
taken.
so sorry.
They're not going to let up because they're not touching mama. But one of the things I thought you would be really good at, and I wonder if you have thought about this, is, doggy portraits.
Yes.
Animal portraits. So what are your thoughts about that? Are you kind of thinking about doing that?
Yes, that's
Because you're a dog lover.
I am a dog lover through and through. I mean, I love all animals, but I just have a thing for dogs. I'm the one that will run across the room to pet your dog. I don't care where I am. So me and Mike were talking, that's my boyfriend. We were talking a lot about different ways to run with it. And so on my website, which I'm, in the works of doing right now, I'm going to have a tab that says petography.
Cute.
You know what I'm saying? You
that's
see what I
perfect.
did there? Yes.
Yes, super cute.
Petography. And the idea that I want behind it, because I found my most favorite photos of my dogs are every year when I've done a cake smash on his birthday.
Okay.
So
A dog cake smash. I've never heard
yes,
of that.
a
That's
dog
awesome.
Well,
cake
we're going to
smash.
be getting a puppy soon. So
we get
we
to
will
do
be
that?
all involved in this world.
Yes, I
See?
love it.
Yes, see, that's amazing. But yeah, so every year for his birthday, I always get him a birthday hat, and we have little decorations, and then I have a little cake or a cupcake, and it's the same idea as when a 1-year-old does a cake smash.
Yeah.
The dog is gonna go to town on
Sure.
whatever you put in front of them.
Yeah.
So my idea is, actually this is perfect because we're right here. I'm going to use this whole area as a backdrop. So whether it be, you got a new puppy and you want to advertise that you got a new puppy, or it's their birthday and you want to do a little cake smash.
Yeah.
That's going to be my idea behind it.
I love that.
Yeah,
if
and
you're
I
good
want to
with
make my
dogs.
own treats, and
Oh.
because they're all natural. I don't give my dog anything that's not safe. I'm really
Nice.
crazy about that.
Nice.
So I've already made a bunch of homemade treats for the boys to test it out. Some kind of apples and bananas and peanut butter. They love that, and they'll just sit there and pose for you. They do all the work.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And that's awesome. If you're good with animals and you're good with dogs like that, you're already going to have a natural inclination to sort of have that vibe with the dog when they come in, and be able to
Yes.
play with them for a few minutes and get them comfortable with you and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. That's a
Well,
very cool
because
idea.
the dog has to be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
But if you're a dog person, usually they are.
Oh, they'll run
usually
right to
it's
me. And I've had a lot of practice on my own dogs. They are amazing models. I feel
Yeah.
bad for them.
I do.
I'm one of these people, I love dogs, but I'm also kind of afraid of dogs sometimes. We've talked about this because I've been bit by dogs. And so Angie would go, well, the dog's not going to bite you unless it knows you're afraid. I'm like, great, then it's definitely going to bite me now.
Yeah, it can smell your
I'm supposed
fear.
to somehow shut off the fear now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. So what type, so I have seen some of your work from when you were in Michigan to when you've transitioned and moved down here to Florida. So tell me about some of the sessions that you have under your belt that have given you the experience to work behind the camera.
No, so most of the sessions that I've particularly done, I've done a lot of couples. I feel like that's just, I've had a lot of friends reach out to me, and 9 out of 10 times they're couples.
Sure.
I've done a few weddings. I love weddings, and I love how happy they are and beautiful. For me, I found the only reason I didn't want to specifically go just for weddings is because they're always on Saturday.
Oh,
There goes your weekend.
And there goes your weekend. Bartending, I've never gotten a weekend to myself anyway. So,
Yeah.
This was kind of a transition I wanted to make. But I would say a lot of couple sessions. I've done a lot of cake smashes for toddlers, just being at
Fun.
birthday parties and stuff like that.
That's a tricky thing too, though, because you got to get just the right moment. I would imagine you have to take a ton of photos.
You have to make sure grandparents
it's
aren't
like
in the way.
Yeah, to
You
get
just
just the right
constantly
one.
click, and then you just hope for the best, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that one moment we talk about. That one moment when you nail it, it's like, oh, this is the shot.
that
It's going to
breathtaking
be framed
one.
in somebody's house.
Yes. Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
I've done maternity sessions.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
yeah.
Recently, I did my sister that I have in Michigan. They had a brand new baby when I was home, so that was fun to just
Oh,
have her in front of
fun.
my camera for a little bit. A new thing I want to get into, which I've talked to some of my girlfriends about coming over and doing, is I really want to do some boudoir shoots.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yes.
Because it really is. So I've done some of those before, and the lighting, everything, like really, practice with your girlfriends first.
Yep.
Like, because to get, a woman comfy and kind of out of her own head.
Yes.
That's, I think you would have a really good talent for that,
Yep.
making somebody feel sexy and confident and comfortable. And just play around with that lighting, the different positions and stuff, because.
And being able to go, this sounds like a weird thing for a guy to say, but being able to be honest with them and look at the photo and say, let's switch this around. This angle's not working, instead of just firing off a bunch of photos and then letting them see when they're
and
done.
I will volunteer for that one to do.
Amazing.
Because
I would love that.
I'm an older woman. So for old, don't put me upside down. Like, doesn't work the same as when I was 20. Okay. I mean, sometimes now sometimes upside down is good, but not for a photo.
For a photo.
Okay?
Well, your hair
Ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So anyway, but that, to get different age groups to kind of practice that on, I mean, I think that can be a very whole nother successful, huge thing. And, I know women that, I'm actually part of a Facebook group of a lady who does those types of sessions. That's all she does.
Yep.
She has a whole studio built around it with a bed and with all this amazing stuff. It's really cool. Yeah.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of photography, like
I
pages.
bet. Yeah.
And
You're
accounts
really
and
like, oh yeah. Like
dream big, baby. Dream big. Everybody's got to start somewhere. I just keep telling myself that. I just keep rewinding. And I'm like, everybody has got to start at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe I don't have the most amazing studio, right now, but that'll all come. And
Sure.
But not even studio. You have Florida, and you have these sunsets,
my backdrop
and you have
right
the
outside.
backdrops.
Yeah.
And you have
That's
an eye
right.
for it too. That's the thing. You can't really. That's something. Maybe you can learn, but I think that's a harder thing to get if you don't already have it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
You can take all your classes and struggle if you don't have an eye for it.
Yeah, like I'm not a photographer. You're definitely the photographer of the two of us.
Yeah, I'm a wannabe photographer, but when I see real photos like the ones you've taken, it's like there's the difference between like a hobbyist and somebody who's really knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So do you have a website or a way for people to find you?
So I'm working on a website. I already bought the domain and everything. But I would say right now, Instagram and Facebook are my biggest platforms. I advertise all of I'm going to be doing mini shoots. So that's going to be like what I'm starting out with. So that would be what I would say to look for.
Right.
So by mini, I mean like obviously like half the time of a regular photo shoot, reasonably priced, and they're all going to be different themes. So like this one will be fall themed. Obviously we're going into Christmas.
Yeah.
So it'll all tie into that. But I would say to look, it's my Instagram is Jolynn Salo Photography. Same with my Facebook. So just look those up, and that's where I have everything right now.
That's
Excellent.
right. And we will, of course, have links
In the show
in the
notes,
show
as always.
notes,
Yeah, I'll put all
easy.
that in there.
Yeah.
And our little boisterous people back here.
It's like
They are just, it's like panic. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, behind the scenes, there's a pure panic attack happening behind the door. She's literally
1 foot away from the door.
one foot away
even.
from the door.
I could touch his
He can
paw.
hear the voice, and it is like, oh God, oh my God, my mother. I can't even. Why is she so far away? Why can't I touch
He's
her and
freaking
see
out.
her? This is ridiculous. How dare you keep me in this prison?
I know.
Anyway, well, I wish
I can
you.
already tell when we let him out, it's going to be like, did you not hear me? I was dying in there.
Yeah.
Something happened to me. Now you have to take me to the doctor.
CPS is going to be knocking on my door
He's
or
gonna
whatever
have,
they do.
Yeah, PTSD for real going on behind that door. I am telling you. Anyway, I know you're going to do great at this.
Thank you.
You know, just keep clicking away on that. What is it called? A camera.
The camera.
Clicking away on that. This is what Angie will do to me sometimes. She'll go, what am I trying to say? And she doesn't give me any hints at all. So
You're
I'm
just
like,
supposed to know what she's saying.
I was going to say shutter button.
Whatever. It's ridiculous. You know what I was talking about.
Yeah, the camera.
Anyway, I know you're going to do great. The pictures you have done already, the sessions you've done already are amazing.
And one more time, the name of the business is
Jolynn Salo Photography.
Jolynn Salo Photography. All right, we'll put a link in there for sure.
That's right, you guys. Check it out. Support small business. Thank you very much. We love when you do that.
That's right.
And that is a wrap from down here in Sarasota, Florida, guys. we are about to go explore the area. We already had a wonderful lunch at Connor's.
Yes,
right?
Connor's. Yeah, they're voted best lunch in Sarasota.
And that is absolutely true. And I had
amazing.
a fabulous drink there.
Yes.
Some kind of gin lemonade. It was amazing. So happy about that.
Yeah.
But guys, remember, at the end of each and every single day,
It's all fine and dangy. Said that weird.
Is this it?
I did. I went like, dangy.